girls is different. For girls is different.
Y'all are giving it's crazy. Yes, I mean, if you like the music, I would love it.
How are you?
I would not. To be honest with you. Jim, are you gonna stay here and work?
Oh, good morning.
I'll run back and have lunch. Real quickly, this is Basha. My name
Nice to see you. Welcome.
is Jim. This is our
Welcome. Thank you. I love this one. I'm like, stop it. I used to go around this big country. I used to say, you don't do this. Did you see me doing that? Good morning, everybody. Let's go ahead and get started. Somebody give me some good news. Give me some bad news.
The sun is out.
So, this morning, the first Tuesday of every month, Janice Overbeck's team comes to our team meeting. And Beth comes, sometimes Russell shows up. Exactly right. Shows up. But guys, one of the blessings we have in this office is that we have got usually 3 or 4 MREA teams, which means they their gross commission that year was at least $1 million. And that is very thin air when you get $1 million or more. And we've got usually 3 or 4 of those teams in this office. So last year, one of the MREA teams was the Janice Overbeck team. And I want to ask Beth to come up this morning and accept Janice's MREA.
Wow.
I would put it on, but that would be a lie. So you get to wear it.
I'm glad I wore the,
Exactly right.
outfit today.
Congratulations.
Alright, 1, 2. Amazing.
That's great. Thank you.
That's awesome.
All right, someone else needs some good news. Good news back here, yes.
I want to introduce my niece. She's gonna.
Good morning.
Her license is
Has she already taken the test, or she already taken
no,
one?
she's gonna take the class.
Take the class. Well, we can make that happen, Ken. That's what it is. So welcome. Anyway, guys, welcome to everybody. I hope you're having a good day. How's the market out there right now? What are you seeing? Say it. Heard somebody say something.
You know, it's funny because I had 3 calls last week. One I'm gonna list, the other 2, and they've only been in their new homes, like one bought it in December, and then the other one has been in for a year and a half. So both of those people are getting transferred for another job, maybe. And then the other one, I sold him the house and we're gonna resell it. So it's
Different.
interesting. It's very interesting, it's very interesting, yes.
Someone say Rocky over there, I thought that was a good
I
word.
heard that.
Yeah, it's very interesting, yeah, cause I'm getting the calls and I'm like, oh, 3 come list me in a week, that doesn't happen.
I actually have
Yeah,
all of my listings right now are need driven. There's
Yeah.
not one of my listings that wants to move, all of them have to move, like,
Yeah.
it's a lot. It's
Mhm.
amazing how I'm not getting the calls, oh, you know, we just need a bigger house. Everyone I'm working with right now has to.
yeah. Interesting.
Because I looked, yesterday, and year to date, this office, and I'm very proud of this guy, because we focus, good morning, Robert. We focus on productivity here, and this office year to date, we're #1 for all Keller Williams for units listed. In Metro Atlanta, that's right, we're #1 for that. We also are #1 year to date for units closed. So guys, give yourselves a hand, please. This year, 0. So guys, congratulations. I feel really good about that. Because guys, one thing we do, we talk about productivity all the time, and we like y'all to be productive, and that's why we have a coaching program, et cetera, et cetera. If you're at the team meeting today, what do you want to do with this, Kimberly? Scan it. It'll say that you're here, so if you have anything today, please scan it. So we have a record of you being here. So
We
please
can't
do
anymore.
that. Huh?
It's on the table.
Exactly right, Joe.
It's on the table.
I knew that.
It's on the table.
All right, while you're up, come on. I like it.
Well, you know, it's like when you're in an awards thing and they're like, and now the winner, and it's somebody in the very back, and everyone has to watch them all the way up. I try to avoid that.
So you just assumed you were gonna win?
I did. I'm still our logo, Rob.
I'm sorry, Carrie, sit down, read, come on.
I love it. Good morning, guys. I'm Carrie with Thomas and Brown. Welcome to everyone that's new. And
Now I'm stuck all over.
So I'm Carrie with Thomas and Brown. It's great to see y'all. If I've not had a chance to meet you yet, we have a couple of things coming up. We are doing a Zoom license law class on May the 20th from 10 to 1. And so we're gonna call it Geo Party, Ways to Avoid Jeopardy. That way you guys don't get in trouble, and we wanna make license law fun. So I will send that out to you guys, so that you can register. And then once you register, the link will be sent to you, and then you'll also get a reminder link like the day before. That way, you know, because we all get a million emails. And so today, I'm gonna do a license law trivia question, and the prize is a $20 Marlowe's Tavern gift card and some T&D swag. So Jim, help me see who answers. Raise your hand first. So license law requires the name of the brokerage to be equal or greater than the name of the agent in 3 ways: frequency, prominence, and
Fun.
yes, size.
Same wrong.
Yeah,
Fun.
I know she was.
No, it's fine.
Very good. All right. Congratulations.
defer.
Thank you. You're welcome. All right, guys, so we will look forward to seeing you there to keep your e-credits up. And you have a great day.
And just, if everybody doesn't know, this is our closing attorney.
Yes.
She's not the closing attorney, but she is with the closing, she keeps them all going.
The
I try to
face.
keep everyone in line. We do have 13 offices now, just so we have Woodstock, East Cobb, Galleria, Alpharetta, Blue Ridge. We have West Cobb, Roman, Cartersville. We have, did I say Buckhead and Blue Ridge? And then also Alpharetta, Gainesville, and Dawsonville. So we're sort of spread out all over. So wherever you guys are, you're following me there.
When I got here 13 years ago, you had 2 offices, right?
We did.
Exactly right, we were here together.
I know, we were. We grew up together, didn't
I'm
we?
still working on majority up, right, but that's good.
Me too.
Great, congrats,
Thank you,
thank you
guys.
so very much. Okay, who's up, come on. Citizens.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Oh, what a warm greeting.
I'm Danielle with Silverton Mortgage. Nice to see everyone this morning.
And I'm Reed Clark with Silverton Mortgage. It's great to be with you guys this morning. A couple things we want to tell you about. We've got a CE class coming up that we're going to be sponsoring. It is on the 23rd. We've done this class. This will be the 3rd time that we've done it. One of the biggest mistakes that people make when they're public speaking is they're answering questions that nobody's asking. And, but this is a question that you should be asking if you don't know to ask it yet. It's on construction and renovation lending. And I really want to encourage you guys, this is a really good class. We've had as many as 45 people in here for this class. I'm going to be co-teaching it with Rick Scott, who is the guy who runs our construction firm division for Silverton. This is all he's ever done, and he's older than me. So, that's.
Voila.
He knows what he's doing.
Experience, it's experience.
Seasoned.
So,
Seasoned.
Rick is great, he knows the stuff inside and out. Let me tell you how it works with him. So for example, let's say that you guys have got a client that wants to buy a house that needs renovation. Has anybody had that recently? We've got two different programs for that, about to have a third one. And so, but it's an odd situation. So I call Rick and I say, Rick, they're wanting to do this and this, but this is this problem. He goes, okay, well, let's think about that. Let's think about how we can make that happen. And he's gonna tell us how to figure it out. And we're gonna walk it through. Silverton handles all the draws on renovation and construction loans from right in my office, which is right across from Lassiter High School. It's hands-on. We take great care of your clients. So I hope you'll be here on the 23rd. And this is for CE credit. I promise you, you will not be bored. It is a good class with a lot of interaction.
What time?
Let's see, I knew you were gonna ask that. Heather?
10 to 1.
10 to 1, thank you. So that means food.
The 23rd.
Yeah, the 23rd.
In here.
That's on the 23rd.
Read, it's a Thursday. It's right behind you.
It's a Thursday. It's a Thursday, see? It's a Thursday. Wait, what was it? Miriam.
So I've got a listing coming up that's a conundrum and is going to need renovating, and I'd love to have that information displayed with all the markings.
Yeah.
So you can provide?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, in a situation like this, let's say that you've got a choice listing, but everybody knows it needs renovation, right?
Yeah.
What if you got your favorite contractor to come out and put together an estimate of some of the things that anybody can see we're gonna do? And we actually put the scenario there, so when people came, you could say, here's exactly what it would look like. Because most people, when they look at a renovation project, they go, they don't know what to do. But if it had some boundaries around it, some parameters. So, yeah, I hope you guys will come.
Yes, oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna ask, I know you guys did a similar CE a couple months back. Is that gonna be the same content, or should we expect it to be a little bit different?
It'll be it's different every time, but it'll be, in general, it'll follow the same format, but to meet the CE guidelines.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions? We have a happy hour we're doing for everybody coming up on May 17th. Downtown Roswell at Lucky's from 4 to 6. So we will be emailing out information and we would love to have you all join us. And what else was it?
Rates.
Rates, yes. Current interest rates have dropped, so that's exciting news. We quoted 6.75 costing 1 point, and 6.99 I think was costing no points, so, yeah.
So, yeah, they're better. I mean, it's nothing to write home about, but it's better than it was, right? At least it doesn't have a 7 in front of it. But hey, who knows, that could change next week, right? So, we're gonna have more today. Any other questions? Cool. Great to be with y'all.
Who got the NAR email yesterday about what NAR has settled on, right? Very quickly, in about 1 minute, tell me what you found out from that. Virginia, what did you find out?
I didn't read it.
You read, okay? That's honest, so I did read it, okay? Anybody read anything about it? Anybody? All right, what did you think about it?
It's happening sooner. And bottom line is just, it's in the market.
What's happening?
The settlement and implementation with the MLS is going to be, I believe they said August
17th.
August 17th, yeah.
All right, so Rob fell into my trap, and he's not the one who fell in my trap, because all that I want you to ignore right now. Because the judge has not ruled on it yet. and probably will not rule until the fall. So so guys, I talked yesterday to Ned Blumenthal, who, is the most brilliant mind I know, in real estate attorney, he's a litigator, and he just said, Jim, I have no idea where this date came from, I don't know. But guys, he said, tell them to keep doing their business right now, do not worry about that, but start having the conversation with their clients on, here's what's going on, here's what I'm worth, here's why you need to pay me X%, whatever that is, guys. So I want you to read that email from NAR and look at it, but then just put it on the shelf and realize that may or may not happen. So guys, what should you be doing right now? Working, listing and selling real estate, guys. So just want you to know that. Okay, there is our wonderful sponsor today. Been there, dumped that. Come on, let's welcome.
Good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing today? Think we're gonna get an interest rate cut this year or not? I hope so. It looks like the data that came in this week is where we need it to be, right? Anyways, my name's Kurt. I'm with Been There, Dump That Dumpsters. We've been kind of partners with you guys for probably about 10 years now. Probably been about 4 years since we've been here. See some old faces, I see some new faces too. You guys probably haven't seen me. If you remember me, I'm sorry. So what we are, we're a dumpster rental service. We've been around since 2012. We consider ourselves the residential friendly dumpster service. Everything we do revolves around the residential market. Big industry that used to be for us was people moving, as it was for you people. Kind of slow down a little bit in that aspect. But we provide 100% driveway protection with all of our dumpsters. We do a post-job cleanup. And they're got double doors for easy walk-in loading. Nothing needs to go over the top. They can walk in, load, organize as they go, saves a lot of space. And then, if you guys ever need a dumpster and your clients ever need a dumpster, they just reference the Keller Williams office, 5% off on the rent. That's it. And we got any questions? I'll make it short, sweet, get out of your hair.
Mike, give us an idea of price, just give us a general idea.
So 20 yards, you're just shy of $500. I think right now they're $485, so 5% off of that, what does that put you at, 170, I think 470. The biggest thing that happened, everyone's talking prices. What happened about 2-3 years ago? There's no more small people running transfer stations or landfills. GFL and GFL and Waste Management bought out the two competitors, Advanced and Waste Industries. So basically, they got the monopoly on everything. Other thing is, all of our trash gets hauled just about out of state now. Georgia doesn't allow any landfills. So who do we send it to? The Alabamians. So they get our trash now. Rates have gone up quite a bit. They don't stop because they don't report to shareholders. They only have to have a profit. So that means the only way to get profit is to raise rates. So I mean that's one of the biggest things we've seen change recently. Is it's a binopoly, I guess. And then also the DeKalb County, they kicked out all private haulers, so nobody can go to DeKalb anymore. So everything that comes out of DeKalb's got to get hauled somewhere metro. So it's a weird industry to be in right now.
You don't know what to do, call you.
Yeah. Trust me, you don't want to handle it.
Let's give him a hand, guys. All right, Noble USA. Now, guys, I want y'all to look at this, and I want you to Google Noble USA. This is an insurance provider, and they will give you the best quotes out there. And then if you can become a shareholder, which there's some criteria for that, then when you refer people to them and they have profits, they share those profits with you. So if you do not know about Noble USA, please Google it, take a look at it so you know what's going on. But they provide your with the best selection of insurance coverage from about 15 top-rated companies. So guys, please take a look at this. If you have questions, come see me or Kimberly, and we'll try to get you going in the right direction. Y4C2Ts. Let's see. Rob, what's your favorite one this morning?
Communication.
Oh, that's a good one. Tell me about communication.
Because in this marketplace, there's a lot of, I wrote 2 offers this weekend, and both agents have done like 1 or 2 deals in the last 3 years. And they just put it up and they don't have any disclosures or anything else. And if they would just communicate, it makes the whole transaction so much easier.
My favorite part of that is seek first, understand. Think, okay, maybe that person's having a tough day today. Maybe they're having to do something because they're client told them to do it, guys. So please try to understand first, but communication is, I get involved in more things that have to do with just lack of communication. So guys, just, that's a good one for today, because I want you guys to be able to communicate well. Thank you, Rob. Career night, that was last night.
Yeah, no, correct. Hi, everyone. My name is Jalen Walker. I'm the assistant team leader and director of growth here at Keller Williams Atlanta North. Last night we had a career night. It was amazing. We had 8 attendees. We have one person that was actually licensed and going to join the office today. We had a couple PACE Square enrollees. We had some agents that brought guests like Magdalena and Christy. Very grateful for you. And we had a great time. We're going to have career night every first Monday of the month. And so the first Monday in June, we will be having another career night. If you know anyone that's interested in learning more about getting their license or want to learn more about the office.
I love that, and don't forget that we have K-Score, which is a free online school. Anybody that wants to jump in there, Kimberly, our gentleman to help out with that. And we also, Barney Fletcher awarded us a school here, so we actually have a 2-week school where you can get your license in 2 weeks. It runs about, Kimberly, $500, if I remember right?
$475.
$475, exactly right, that's about $500. Anyway, guys, so anyway, we have both those, so if you want to get licensed, we can help you with that process. So please, great. Take Command, database deep work, Wednesday, May 8th from 9 to 9:30 a.m., Zoom only. Who's doing this, Kimberly?
I think it's a region.
It's a regional thing, great. Oh, it is, it's Patrick, exactly right, guys. So guys, jump on this, information, you sent this out, Kimberly? Cool, so you have it, so jump up if you'd like to know about your database. GPS in 411, Arthur Ring, God bless her soul, does this for you every Friday at 4 o'clock. And so guys, please jump on this. If you know what GPS and 411 is, you should be in the class. Because just like as she says, going from here to California, you say, I'll just get in my car and see where it takes me. That's what you're doing. So guys, jump on this if you can, please. Spring book drive. Then I will. Anyway, guys, Brenda Chambers came to us with this idea about us having a spring book drive, guys. There's so many kids out there that do not have access to books, and we're trying to put those books in their hands. Nothing makes me smile when my grandsons are actually reading a book rather than on their iPads. So, guys, we're doing this. Books for babies, for little kids, for teenagers, whatever. Please bring them in. We're doing it through the, what, Kimberly? The 15th, which is coming up pretty soon. So please go ahead and do that. And guys, if you will bring a book in, we'll give you a ticket for a free drawing for my yard sign. So please bring some books. Anybody bring anything this morning, by the way? Cool. Then we'll give you a ticket. Anybody else got? Please bring us books because we need them. Huh? About 15. And yes, I do have kids' books home. I'm gonna bring them tomorrow, which is good. All right, moving on. Red Day. Who can talk about Red Day? Someone tell me what Red Day is.
It's the day when we set aside our.
Give back. Thank you.
Yes, I'm sorry. It's the day when we set aside our collective businesses and we work in our neighborhoods. And we do this in honor of the glorious, wonderful Velvet Hammer, Mo Anderson, because she brought culture to our company, and she wants that to be the legacy of Keller Williams, our culture, which is studied at Stanford or Stanford? One of them. Yeah.
All right, you want to tell us where we're going to be?
Sure.
Come on, Adrian.
Let's
welcome Adrian!
Thanks. I'm Adrian. Okay, Red Day, this Thursday, so we have 2 locations, one is in Lawrenceville, Nothing But the Truth. We need people, I don't know, are we full? Are we good?
Yeah, we're pretty cool.
Okay, but please, feel free to still join in. Ways you can join in, $5 increments of donations for fleece. We're making no-sew blankets at Mess Ministries in Marietta. The other thing for Nothing But the Truth, they're taking Pop-Tarts in individual cereal boxes. You can do the money and send that. So then we're also having lunch provided by Supreme, thank you. And then happy hour provided by Silverton, thank you. All right.
I'm like all that.
Are there more specifics on where at Must Ministries we need to be? I know it's 9:30, but our
that's a
team
really
is
great
trying to
We-
figure out
we'll
where
send that out
exactly
now.
to go.
I will let you know.
Okay.
Thank you, great
Thank
question.
you.
Just
Appreciate
show
it.
them Must Ministries, I know they'll know we're
I'm
going.
pretty sure.
It's on Field Road.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
right
tell you
around the
exactly where,
corner.
because there's one up there at 9:30.
Yeah.
To give us a little tour and then it's ten for start.
There's,
Okay, I will
there's tons of Must Ministries over on Cobb, so I just wanna make sure we know.
We'll make sure you know.
And wear sneakers.
And
Yeah,
Wear
okay, wear
sneakers.
sneakers, be comfortable, y'all.
Well, it has to be closed-toe shoes. You cannot wear flip-flops.
And I wear flip-flops.
Closed toe shoes, your red cape shirt.
Kimberly's got them. Guys, we also need to raise some money so we can buy things for, because one of them wants Pop-Tarts and one of them wants individual little cereal containers. So we're gonna pass this around, and you can either give her $5 or give us your name and we'll put it on your bill.
Write your name and the amount you want to donate, we'll just add it to your monthly bill.
And whatever y'all raise here this morning, I'll match.
Please pray.
How about that? Whatever y'all raise morning, I'll match. So guys, please give generously. Break Pop's bank. That's a lot. That's okay, go. All right, lesson learned.
Alrighty. So if we have any first time guests in the building, can you raise your hand? Alright. Alright. Awesome. Welcome. We want to welcome you to Keller Williams Atlanta North. I want to take a moment and lessons learned, us getting to know each other as neighbors. So if you can, turn somebody to somebody that's near you and tell them what your favorite comedy movie is. We're going to take 2 minutes to do that. Learn something about your neighbor.
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
Planes, trains, and automobiles.
Something about Mary.
Something about Mary.
Meet the parents.
Meet the parents. Like that. Any over here favorite comedy movies? Huh? Oh, any over here? Alrighty.
Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber. That's a good one. That's a really good one. But for the lessons learned portion, one thing that I have learned recently, so as you know, in the business of real estate, what's the minimum age that you can get your real estate license at? 18. There were 4 high schoolers at career night last night.
That's awesome.
There's demand for it. When I graduated high school, I was not thinking about being a realtor, I'll be honest. But that is something that is like truly amazing. So when it comes down to when you're speaking to talent, don't put an age limit on it. We have resources and systems in place to be able to train them to be great professionals, to be surrounded by top producing agents in the market. And so just because someone is younger, don't write them off because they're hungry to get into real estate today. For April, I want to update you on where we were at on in and out with agents. We had 10 agents join the office. We had 4 leave the office. We were at a positive 6 in net agents. That was the best we were at since August of 2021. So I want to say thank you to you all for your referrals and just being able to build a great culture here. And so Jim has a great panel coming up of our Rookie of the Years of the last, I think 4 or 5 years. And so this is going to be an amazing panel. And just want to say thank you all for making my first month a successful one.
So rookies of the year, come on up and have a seat up here.
Should we sit in order?
This is your turn.
Oh, mine, okay. Thanks for coming.
For your the forest in between the roses.
Okay, so I'm I'm Adrian, I was Rookie of the Year 2020, and Rhonda is actually, okay, let's see, I guess you two.
You can say the years.
You're first.
Yeah.
Oh, you're in order,
Yeah.
you did it, okay.
So you have to be right here.
This is our order, just so you know. Okay, cool. So I'm on the ALC this year, and I was asked to lead a meeting, and this was a great suggestion, thank you. So I've got some questions, and if y'all have questions, think about them. You already have a question?
Yes, yes. Introduce themselves and
We're
the
getting there,
year.
yes. So,
Yeah.
No.
yeah,
Absolutely not.
I would love y'all to introduce yourself, and I don't know, maybe an adjective starting with the first letter of your name. So stand up and please introduce yourselves. There you go. Okay, I'll go first. Yes, I'll go first. So I'm Adrian, and I'm adventurous, I guess. Wow. Oh yes, and I was Rookie of the Year 2020, following these people and knowing that they were Rookie of the Year. I want to do that. So, yeah. Will you introduce yourself?
Miriam DePriest, and adjective.
Marvelous.
Oh, she said adjective. I'm gonna have to use the D of DePriest because I can't think of a good M, but doggedly determined.
I'm walking here too.
Oh, yes. I'm the Grand Dame at 2016. I started at 55 years old, my third career. Thought I was a failure the first 5 months and was shocked the next full year to be Rookie of the Year. So come to me if you're ever stressing.
It'll all work out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Would you, just this one time?
I'm Libby, enlisted by Libby Count as my No, we did this as a kid and my aunt and uncle would call me lovable Libby, but you guys can determine that. I was Rookie of the Year in December 16th, so I guess it was 2017.
Hey, I'm Chris Van Zandt, Rookie of the Year.
Crazy Chris.
2018, C. Who did C one?
Caring.
Crazy.
Charismatic.
Great, charismatic, I'll take all those,
There we go.
thank you, yeah. Love it.
That's not a cuss word.
Amanda. I was Rookie of the Year in 2021, and I'm not good at adjectives that are not profane.
Aspiring.
Aspiring.
There we go.
It's the teacher.
Rhonda Flores, Rookie of the Year last year, and I would say resilient.
There you go.
I'm Jim Alexander. I was Rookie of the Year in 1985.
Do we have someone that was 2019?
They skipped.
I don't remember.
Maybe you
Yes,
were 2019.
what's her name?
Kathy Rayner.
Kathy
Kathy
Rayner.
Kathy
Oh,
Ray.
that's right.
Kathy's between us.
Okay.
Or before you.
Never mind.
Never mind.
Kathy wasn't even funny.
Kathy, yeah, Kathy
It
was
goes
here
Kathy,
after.
it goes Kathy, you then me.
And I found out one other that I didn't hear back from was Phyllis Simone was a Rookie of the Year. And I didn't hear back from her.
She just had surgery and is in great, in fact, I asked if I could set up a meal train for her. She had a devastating back surgery and I just ran over and got her 83-year-old client in Indian Hills to hand sign under deadline.
You're so
Because she
sweet.
couldn't even get out of bed. Like, we need to check in on her.
Absolutely. Thank you for.
And we are, and she does not want, you know.
Right,
just
she
to
did
go
not
away.
want
But guys, but I can't let this stop. So here is somebody that's running a thriving business, and she stopped what she was doing to
Well,
go
I
help somebody
live
else.
right there.
But you still, you guys, everyone here would have done that for us.
I feel like that is the culture here.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for being a great people. Yeah. So I have some questions, and if y'all have questions, write them down, and at the end, we'll do some questions from you next. So, I think, I don't know if we wanna go down the line, or, I'm not sure, I'll pick someone. Or you can raise your hand, buzz or
I would
whatever.
say we might not all have answers for everything.
That's a
So
good
maybe
point,
just-
yes.
Yeah.
What is the weirdest thing you've seen in a home?
Creepy
Rhonda.
dolls.
Recently, okay, now children, a stripper pole.
Oh!
I sold the house as a workout pole.
Oh.
Yes.
Because we couldn't take it down, it was
call.
attached to the structure of the home.
It's a workout pole.
I don't know if anybody saw update, Morgan's listing, that was a 100-year-old house on
Yes.
Lower Roswell.
Yeah.
With a well in the boys', in the kids' bedroom, and it was magnificent, and it's the weirdest thing I've ever seen, and then the second weirdest is in my upcoming listing. This magnificent grand house with this huge master bedroom upstairs, surrounded by glass, and there's a pool that it looks out over, but instead of windows, it's sliding glass doors with nothing on the other side. Like,
Lock those up.
bam.
Wow.
Yes, and so I'm trying to help, and this is an estate, trying to help them.
That's not gonna go in.
Myriad of problems.
That's one way to get rid of
There was a listing years ago, it was one of the very first featured on Zillow Gone Wild, when that was like a new Instagram account. In East Spring Lake, so it's pretty close to here, where in the master bathroom, there were stairs up, it's a vaulted bathroom, and then you got the sinks in the bathtub, and you go up the stairs for the toilet. It's like literally, and there was like a railing, and I'm like,
True
this
throne.
true throne. This is the weirdest thing, and then literally it went on Zillow Gone Wild right afterwards. I was like, oh my god.
Where did the stairs go?
To the toilet.
Yeah, it's like a it's a vaulted living room, right? So they're a vaulted, so most of it's open and then you just have stairs.
I've seen one of those. I actually luckily didn't see it. My client's wife went upstairs before the husband and I did, and she came flying down the stairs. She saw either a pagan or a devil worshiping altar in one of the rooms, and she freaked out and just ran and just didn't even like just slow down right to the car and said we're out. We have to leave right now.
And that's why staging is important.
Right.
That or cast a voodoo spell on all the buyers.
Sage that please.
Actually, I have one, so I was showing a house maybe 35 years ago and it said beware pets. Beware pets, so we walk in very cautiously and a little poo comes out going yip, 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 I'm thinking, who cares about that? We went in another room, there was a 25-foot boa. We left the house. It was slithering in about 4 rooms.
I had lines of cocaine lined up in that. I was showing a house and I opened up the closet and sitting there on a dresser was lines of cocaine with a credit card. And I went, oh my God, and I hurried to close it up and I called the realtor.
I feel like it's
And
not
money.
uncommon to see drugs
Yeah.
though. At, like, you've never seen drugs? Drugs all the time.
Oh.
People leave their bongs out and I'm just
That's
like.
I think that's different than cocaine though.
No, like loaded
Yeah.
bongs, like ready to go.
Wow, do you know what that looks like?
I don't know, I just saw it on TV once.
Looking back, now that y'all are all rock stars, not just rookies, what is one thing you wish you had known when you started?
Don't study so long for the doggone test because you're gonna pass it on the first time. Just put your efforts in finding the brokerage that you can start with. I spent 3 months more than I should have studying for that test.
Oh, wow.
I should have spent time getting signed up here.
Huh. I did not understand this whole secret agent thing. A lot of us are probably perfectionists. I didn't want anybody who knew me to know I was a realtor. Purposely, I did not want them to know. I wanted to practice on strangers, get really good at it, and then tell everybody. And so I talked to Jim, put my license here, started figuring out, which is a whole nother story, how to get strangers to work with me. And then I saw a sign go up 2 doors down from me in my neighborhood. And my neighbor and friend listed her house. I said, oh, I just became a realtor. And she got so angry with me. She was like, why didn't you tell me? Like, I didn't even know who to use. She was Brazilian, her husband was Irish, they were transferred. They called the person who had been the listing agent when they bought it, $695,000 house, and I could have had my first listing within 2 days. And I kicked myself, and then I spent 5 months cultivating. So don't be a secret agent, tell everyone all the time. I wish I'd done that.
I had the same fear actually. I had this, to me, starting off was easier working with strangers than with family and friends. And then I realized when they love, they love and believe in you, I said, oh man, they do want to work with me. This does make more sense to nurture people who already know you.
And who's
versus
gonna
bring-
work harder for them and
Yeah,
figure it all out?
100%. Yeah, my initial fear was work with strangers.
Oh, I didn't have that.
I think for me, I think I see this with new agents all the time, and even people who have more experience, counting your chickens a little bit. Oh, I've got all this in the pipeline, so I'm fine. And then you kind of take your pedal off the gas with lead gen. Oh, because I'm so busy, look at my pipeline, I'm like, guess what, your pipeline can scale like that. You always have to be looking for the next thing.
To piggyback on that too, my first 2 deals, I did use a transaction coordinator. So I spent so much time stressing about the details I didn't need to stress about. And so I just remember being like, what am I doing? I'm focused on just the smallest things and the things I hate the most. Why am I doing this? And then when I learned leveraging, it was the best thing ever to get rid of the stuff I don't like doing, I'm not that good at, and just waste time and it doesn't make any money. So why not focus on the money making opportunities? So learning to leverage faster was the most important lesson for me.
I still struggle with this one, but it's done is better than perfect, like I learned that from Libby. Cause yeah, I'm like, I'll spend like 4 hours on Canva, like making a flyer, but I could pay somebody else $15 and they could do it better than I could ever do it. So now it's like the leverage piece and just like letting go of like having to micromanage and control like all the little details.
So if you had to compare your day-to-day job as a realtor to a circus act, what would it be?
Well, I was thinking a tightrope walker with like juggling fire sometimes.
I like that better.
Lion tamer at times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lady with the beard, just kidding.
When you were pregnant, that was
I was thinking trapeze artist, but I don't know why. But, just
yeah. You walk the line, yeah.
I thought of line tamers, I imagine line tamers, they don't have, no one knows what that job really is. But I imagine people who do it, they have such confidence in what they're doing, but on the outside world, it seems so hard and strange and weird and just unusual. It's kind of what our job is, no one really knows what we do.
Yeah.
That's part of the whole value class that Gary's teaching now, is explaining your value. I think when you learn that about yourself, you get better at what you're doing.
Jen?
She's on Facebook.
If you were to compare your job to a circus act, what would it be? A circus act.
I would be the juggler. Juggling a lot of different things.
I think a contortionist.
Oh.
But I often say though, I used to be an elementary school principal. It's the same job I have right now. Who would agree with that?
Yeah.
Exactly right. Even though no, you're it's the same job. Exactly right. Exactly right, Jess.
What is your biggest challenge or struggle with this career?
Would we all agree 7 days a week would be a challenge?
Turning off the noise.
Yeah.
Something different from that. I had a career where I worked constantly and was always traveling. So this job actually, I have more time.
I love that.
So it's, I remember when I started this job, and I won't name who it was, but I will never forget who said it to me. When I started, I was like, a couple months in, we were at a happy hour at the top of the place.
Tinley.
Thank you. And the person said, hey, you're working too much, and you're putting too much time in the office, and then you're the first one there and you're the last one to leave, and I think you're spending too much time away from your family. And I said, okay, explain to me why. And I said, do you know what I did before this? And they're like, no. I go, I worked every day, probably 70, 80 hours a week, was always gone. This is more time with my family, it's more money. So you should not judge me based on what you think I'm doing.
Yeah.
And when I was Rookie of the Year, I made a point to make sure that I will always outdistance that person, and I always have. I've always had this person question who I could do.
I think my biggest struggle is my boss, and I don't mean you, Jim, I mean because we're the ones that create the 7 days a week. We're the ones that never say no. We're the ones that are like, absolutely, I can do that. No problem, I can do this. And set the expectations of how people treat us. So I'm my own worst enemy with, I create my schedule. I could make margin, I don't very well. That's my, so yeah, I think me and my boss are sometimes
Mine's a real witch too.
Yeah. Exactly.
So you guys getting good at, I tell my clients I got appointments, my appointment can be me getting a haircut or, which I don't very often.
Picking
Or-
a gap is
Or
an appointment.
I mean, honestly, if I got
Yeah.
things that are in my life that are for me and my family, I just call them an appointment.
Yeah.
If you tell them, hey, I'm taking my kid to drum lessons, they don't get really or care
Yeah,
sometimes.
they don't care.
If it's an appointment, they go, oh, it's business, and they
Yeah.
just, they more or less go, great, I'll see you on this day or this time.
Right.
So now anything that's in my life that's personal, unless it's a friend, we're sharing a cool story, like, hey, I'm going to go see my son in a show,
Right.
I say, I've got an appointment. And I dictate my time that way, but it took me a while to get to that point of saying, this is my life, I want my time.
And I'm bracketing a little differently. You guys have children and you need to find the time within each week. And my husband's retired, I'm getting closer, and so I decided to go all out to the wall in the spring, summer. And then last year, for the first time, I just kind of let it be quiet for 3 months. Traveled to New Zealand with my husband, referred some business out, drove to see the in-laws who were in their 90s for the holidays. Had the most glorious carefree time ever in my whole life. And now I'm just back at it. So I'm kind of like, in my mind, I'm working round the clock so that I can do
Yes.
that, which is so different. It's balanced in a different way, but isn't it cool? We get to decide what we want and how we want to try to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright, let's see here. What is one thing you always have in your car for showings?
9mm.
Toilet paper.
I'm a tall, skinny chick, I need to defend myself.
Angry snacks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Snacks are really good.
Toilet paper tape measure.
Oh, and the side stuff, you taught me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I
side
think
stuff.
where your spare tire is, that's where I keep like my
Yes.
underclass.
Well, I taught
You
you
taught me that, in my
Yeah.
sledgehammer, it's where your spare tire is, you know, you can lift up, there's a bunch of room there, so like
Yeah.
sign toppers and
What a
little,
great
like my
idea.
sledgehammer, and then I don't have to put everything in my car when I'm
Oh
going to.
man, I like that.
That was,
Thank you, Chris.
Well, so I mean, all those little things from farmers, I get my sense
yeah,
from the signs,
yeah.
but all those little pieces that put things together, put them in a Ziploc bag, each one, so you need it, you're not rifling through, you go, oh cool, these are the ones on top, these are the ones with the hooks, these are the ones with the little
Yeah.
gray piece that goes in the middle. And you just pop them
Never
out.
used that great.
Never used a gray piece?
Never used a great.
How does your arm stay in the post then?
It just slides in.
Just
What do you mean?
stays-
Great, are you talking about?
You don't need it.
Just
You
things
don't need it.
Okay, all I know is mine never felt well. They don't fall down, they don't fall down. There's a slot built for it.
I put those away.
What's the first thing you do after closing?
Ask for a review.
Yeah, ask for referrals.
I know, I'm like, answer the million
I was
texts.
like, you are going as a Mexican? I forgot about the review, but I know it's Mexican. The
So-
question?
Question is, what do I do after I close?
Yeah, what is the
You
first
guys
thing
are,
you
you
do?
guys answered that.
No, I mean,
we did.
for me, it's just on to the next thing.
Yeah.
I'm not good at
I
selling.
said I'd try to remember to ask for a reference, for a, what do you call it, review.
Yeah.
Overview,
Send them a
okay.
link for review.
You wanna go?
I just ask for referrals.
I always do that. I set that up from the very first appointment.
Yeah, me too.
They're gonna give me a referral at the closing table.
Okay.
There's nothing better than going, you know what, I promise you this, and here's Jim Smith, please fall down that. Celebrating, even if it's just a beer, even if it's just getting ice cream or takeout,
Yeah.
Chinese.
Good.
Tell my kids, then I kept, kids are all 15, 17, and 20, actually 18, turned 18.
Adults.
Yeah, tell them I had a closing, show them success.
Because they used to help you and be your
They are,
leadership.
junior assistants,
accountability.
yeah. Show them success.
I remember you so well, Chris, when he was an agent here, he would call his family and say, Dad cannot be home yet, because he's gonna stay until he gets the leave.
Gets the next leave.
Yeah, he would not go home until he got the next week. He'd call family and say, God, I can't come home right now, because Dad's gotta get one minute, but I remember that so well about you. You were so driven to make sure that you did not leave till you got your first leave. I bet all of you all have that same quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, what about you, Rhonda? What do you after closing?
You know, I always take my client for a meal.
Oh, that's nice.
Always. I don't care if it's breakfast or brunch. I always just try to take them out, talk to them, not talk about the house, and just get to know them more personal level again. So let them know I appreciate it.
Would it surprise you all, if you don't mind me asking the question, that 75% of agents today, 75% have either had one deal or no deal this year. Haven't closed anything.
That's
It's the number I use. Would that surprise you all? Why do you think that's true?
Cause mine is.
Cause why?
I was like, mine is down this year. It's not easy.
I agree.
You have to go back to before my time, cause I'm, I started in 2020. And so it's like everybody I'm talking to is like, oh no, you have to go pre-COVID. I'm like, oh, what's that mean? And so it's like getting back to like the basics, not just like answering your phone, showing up, like it's so much more than that, like you have to be a lot more intentional. And I don't think that the majority of people in general have the drive and the focus to be intentional consistently. So that does not surprise me at all.
I think the agents are told that it's hard, and it gives them an excuse not to work.
Believe it.
And so they don't. I just think that's how it is. If you convince yourself this job has gotten too hard in the last few years, then it's easy to do nothing. It just becomes simple. Yeah, things are more challenging. If you do your job, you will always just
You
do
just
something
adapt.
else's.
Yeah.
Do something else's.
Is that typical of any year?
What's the normal?
Really?
Oh.
What's it normal?
50%.
Oh, wow, that's not a lot.
It's so funny because I have a nephew in Northern Virginia that Keller Williams there, who could not close anything last year. He had the toughest year ever. He's already closed 21 things this year.
Wow.
Now, several of them are a trailer on 2 acres that is $25,000.
Yeah.
Still.
A deal's a deal.
Units are the health of your business.
I know people.
Yeah.
But would that surprise you, Miriam?
His, or that in general?
Yeah, that 75% done one deal or less.
I guess you run across those agents who don't fill in the paperwork right, and they don't know how to even talk through things, and to Rob's point, the terrible lack of communication is so shocking that I guess there's just a whole lot of people out there that just wanna see if they can make a buck here and there. They aren't looking at it as a career or
No.
a profession.
Not married, I guess I'm not.
It's not a
But I wouldn't
co-op.
have known it was that high.
I'm gonna get on this.
Is that nationally, Jim, or is that locally, like?
It's in the metro Atlanta area, yeah, and that's just one person said that's true, so. That would not surprise me looking at our Australia, but not surprising. And we're very productive, and so I'm much.
Jim, do you think those agents, 75% of them are more like, I have a job and I just do it on the side? Because I don't feel like that's your full-time job, that could be.
True.
Yeah, because you wouldn't have any.
But is it a tougher
I'm just
market
saying
now?
maybe 75% of people, that's good news for us, if they don't work their business, then we should have a lot more business.
I agree.
Did you just ask if it's tougher right now?
Is it tougher right now?
Yes.
Is what?
Yes and no.
Is the market tougher right now, harder to find leads?
Oh, okay.
No,
Not bad.
No, not really.
I think
finding
it's
a property.
That's how I feel.
Libby and I were talking yesterday and she goes over I'm always looking at the numbers locally. Like hyper locally, like right now in Pope,
Hope is so freaking hot, it's annoying.
I mean, for 1 million plus, I think there's like 8, right? And then I think there's a total of like 24 on the market right now. I mean, it's crazy.
I don't know any better because I'm so new.
That's perfect.
So when I came in, everybody said it was difficult, so I just worked harder. I just didn't know any better, and I still have the same philosophy. I keep working
Yeah.
harder because everybody, I know
Yeah.
it's all
Yeah.
around me how slow it is and whatnot, so it just makes me work harder as all.
It's hard when I got in too.
Yeah.
And I started in COVID,
Yeah.
so it was hard when I got in too.
I think it is hard. Jalen?
I want to ask a question to the panel. For newer agents or agents aspiring to get their license, knowing what you know now and looking at the difficulties that you have faced along your journey, would you do it all again?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
There are days I say no. There are days I say no. I've found different passions in my life in the last 6 years. So I'm curious if I would have taken a different path where I'd be. there's no better path to freedom than the path I chose now, as far as opportunity to earn $1 and have time with my family. So in that aspect, I think yes.
It's great being your own boss, but you know, if you have 2 or 3 of those grinding, difficult transactions right in a row, I can remember 2 different times in the years that I walked into Sherry's office and I was like, I think I'm done. And she laughed and she said, till the next easier one. And it's so true. Aren't we just bouncy tiggers as soon as we have great clients and it's so fast and you cash that check, you're like, I love this business.
But kudos to Sherry for being able to say, yeah.
Yeah. And I was not, I think you have a question in there about a difficult transaction.
Oh, yeah.
And I had one where my buyer defaulted and it's a bit of a story. And it was one of the worst experiences of my entire professional life. And he had done something so stupid, even though we conference called with his lender, he wanted to buy a lake house and a primary house. And I got on the call with his lender, I said, you need to really understand, you don't qualify to buy both without selling your house. You can buy one or the other. So if you want me to take you to buy your next house, you have to do that first. So, okay. So then we are on the way, and about 3 days before closing, the lender lets me know we can't close. I'm like, what are you talking about? So, well, apparently Brett bought a lake house.
Oh, good.
And I had put we had put the sellers in this Ansley, Lakeside at Ansley, or whatever it's called, you know, $1 to $3 million neighborhood. They had to mitigate radon. They had done about 10,000 in repairs. They went after, not only, of course, the earnest money, they went after all the commission. And I just felt brutalized. I had worked so hard and he had flat out lied. And so that was one I thought, I can't even do this. But here we are, it's all right.
Can I further answer your question again, or do it all over again?
Adrian's,
I would dive into the question further. You can only do it all over again, put the same amount of effort in.
Yeah.
The people that I started with, there's some great ones that are still here. Magdalena is probably the best. We started at the exact same time. And you crush it because you work your job every single day. There's people we started with that kind of didn't take it as seriously and aren't here right now.
Nobody I started with is here.
I got lucky. You and I, Brenda Chambers, Ross Tazetta,
Yes, I sure.
a couple others. Actually, we have like 7 of our Ignite class are still in real estate, which is crazy. But I think right now, if I had to start all over again, if you're not doing your job, you shouldn't do this job.
Yeah.
You should just go find something else to do. If you won't put the hours in, if it's not a 40-hour-a-week job, you should just find something else. It's more steady, with healthcare. Don't put 40. So if you're gonna put 40 in, go work at QT and make $80,000 as a manager.
Right.
Go to Costco. But don't do this job and put in 20 hours and wonder where you have any money.
Yeah.
I would do it all again, but I wouldn't wanna move and start over. I'm too tired.
Would any of the rest of you, or someone had a question?
I was wondering, what is the most productive thing that you do every day to grow your business?
Besides the generation.
Yeah, that's it. First thing in the morning, I'm on the phone. When I get up, I have my tea, go to my office, I'm on the phone immediately every day. And if I don't, for some reason, I have to mark time out for something going on, I'll do everything in my power to keep it at the same time. But I'll feel like I gotta get back on it because I find that if you do take a couple of days off, you just have to stay in that rhythm. You know, so that's my every day. That's why I'm seldom here in the mornings, because that's what I'm doing every day.
Who are you calling?
I'm big into command. I love my command. I really do. I have just people I've met through my whole life, clients, friends, just you name it, I call them. My sphere is all people that I've known or people that have recommended me. I don't have any leads that were cold leads. I just don't have that. But everyone I've ever known, I call.
I would say kind of similar is like going into my database every day. I try my best to keep everything pretty automated, but I don't mean automated as in an automated text section, I can't stand those. It's more just like the tasks for each day. So I know if I have a vacation coming up, okay, I gotta work ahead on my tasks coming up, so I don't come back to, you have all these overdue tasks. It's just doing the job, which is kind of both lead gen and lead follow-up, but I think automating as much as you can, because you get to the point when it's like, when you've got a couple deals a month, it's like, okay, you can still keep up. When you've got like 6, 8, 10, it's like, oh my gosh, it can go haywire so quickly. So it's like just doing the work day in, day out is probably the most important thing I do.
I network every day, every single day. I wear a lot of different hats, real estate's just one of them. I'm involved in local politics, I'm involved in local theater, I'm all over the place. But my goal is networking every single day, meeting new people. I guess the goal is when you walk into the dinner party story, I told you this story, I have a theory, I'll give you 1 second, I'll hit this as fast as I can. You have 3 different friends, and you see me as one person, you see me as another, you see me as another. I'm the last one at the party, and when I walk in the room, they've all told stories about me, and it's all a different version of who I am. I'm not the same person to them. My goal is to be the same person, so when I walk in, they're all telling the same kind of story about me. I'm not a different friend to each one of them. So my goal is networking, being the same friend to everybody, and that's where my business is growing a lot, because I'm consistently in my community the same person every single day, regardless of walk of life, regardless of income, regardless of stature, any of it. And I'm involved from the kids out of college to people out in high from government, everyone's treated the same. I do it every single day.
I do a brain dump every day. Like, so I've really got ADHD. I even put a sign on my door that's like, easily distracted, please don't bother me. And so I have to literally like, just brain dump all the crap. Whether it's like, I need to get gas, I need to order a breakfast for my daughter's school, I need to, like, just it's not our job, right? Like, our job is what? It's lead generation, lead follow-up, setting appointments, negotiating contracts, like, that's our job.
Yeah.
All the other stuff is just stuff. Yeah, it's just noise, and so I brain dump all the noise so I can do my job first, and then I can handle the noise. But if it gets done, it gets done, if it doesn't, it doesn't. There's always tomorrow, or I can always outsource it, or I can just let it fall. Sometimes a plate has to fall.
That's a really good thing to say. The networking thing, if you're a newer agent, you got a passion or a hobby, you need to lean into it and not give it up just because you do real estate.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you end up just doing this and you feel thrown out and
You
you're
get
like,
resentful.
well, you're like, the things you love the most, you'll give up just to do this job. Keep doing the things you love, and if you're a good person, you're gonna do things you love and get business from the things you love. That's what I really think it's really important. You can't. But in theory, your kids are,
I have my kids'
you get your kids' hobbies, which is a thing.
That's also networking, right?
Yeah, but I think people tend to give up the things they love to focus on this, and you can't do that, you have to be well-rounded individual to feel happy when you get time off. If you keep doing those fun things, you'll find business and the fun things. Nothing better than having a hobby and making money off your hobby, that's awesome.
Well, I hope I'll sometime soon make money off my tap dances.
Oh,
So that's something I started doing in my later 40s, just for fun. But yeah, I mean, the first 2 years I was working so hard because I was the main breadwinner and just couldn't do anything else. But then finally started playing tennis again and tap dancing. And I'm the youngest one in the tap dancing group. So anyone wants to join me? Oh, so thank you for sharing, Miriam. I'm wondering, would any of the rest of you wanna be vulnerable and share something very difficult or a transaction that didn't close, or just something like a failure, or where you felt like it was a failure or didn't, go to closing, or something like that, if you're willing to share.
I got one I regret. I just took a listing, beautiful house in Alpharetta, very high price point. And when I went in, they hired me because I'd sold one up the street. So I went in and they hired me on the spot, and that was all good and fine. We're doing the walkthrough, and I walked downstairs and I smelled smoke. And I was like, so the couple was walking down in front, so we went to sit down, and I said, okay. I did my spin, I said, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Who smokes? She goes, well, I do, and I looked at him, and I said, I bet you do too, and he goes, well, yeah. I said, well, it has to be dealt with. We'll take care of it. I said, you give me your word, that's great. Went under contract, day one, over ask. They did the walkthrough, smelled the smoke, deal fell through. 2 more offers, they smelled smoke. Deal never even got to the table because they smelled smoke. So I still have the listing and I've begged them to mitigate the smoke. It's only $11,000 to mitigate. So she comes to me and says, I got an idea. And it was after 6, so she'd been drinking, I could tell. I'm gonna split it with you.
Oh gosh.
And I go, and I don't drink. And I go, I'm gonna split what with me? I wanna split mitigation. Well, Nicole, let me tell you something. I don't smoke. You hire me to sell your house, I can sell your house, but not until you mitigate. So we're gonna meet this weekend, and I think they're gonna mitigate. But would I take the listing on again? Of course I would. But I've had to learn not to push them. You know, this is their house, this is their decision, we can't push them. And I felt like I was pushing them, so I backed off. Well, because I backed off, the house is sitting there on the market 46 days now. So I'm learning to find a happy medium with a situation like that I tried to take control in the beginning, but I wasn't forceful enough. On the first deal that fell through, I should have said, listen, you need to do this. And I sent the people and did everything, but I learned that happy medium on how I need to be like, you really have to do this to sell your house, and now we get to have the conversation this weekend. So that one's been really, really difficult for me.
You're really good at having tough conversations. You told us some of them. You don't mind risking the relationship to have a conversation. And everyone in this group right here, y'all are all like, you have these sweet faces, but when you need to be tough, when y'all need to be tough, exactly that. When y'all need to be tough, exactly right. Because this one tells me no a lot of times. I like it.
I do.
Oh, yes.
Has anybody watched Ted Lasso?
Yes.
Oh, so good. Be a goldfish. So that is naturally, I have a very bad memory. And that has, and I don't overthink anything literally ever. So that has actually been so helpful in this career, because there's a million of them. I don't dwell on them and I really don't remember them.
Like childbirth.
That's why I'm working, that's why I have 3 kids, because that's what it was like, yeah. So like there's been a ton of deals that where, you know, it hits the fan and you're like, oh my god, I hate my job, I wanna go work as a Walmart greeter. That's always my daydream when it's bad. But it's like I just kinda, I don't know, I shrug it off and keep going, and I have pictures in my office of like amazing clients that love me and like we're amazing happy closing days, and I look, and that's what I focus on. It's like, oh, people love working with me, I love working with them, and that's what I want to attract. So there's been a million of them, but I have learned things, but mostly I don't even think about them.
Ditto.
I know it's hard to come up with.
Well, no, I mean, this is not really arrogant.
Every
Every listener I've ever had is closed. And then, so there's nothing there, and I got a great lender, Reed, and every deal we've ever had is closed. The issue becomes when you have toxic clients.
Yes.
And I remember when I fired my first one, it was the most like, I can do this.
So awesome.
Well, I have the pipeline. It does.
It's
It's
just
amazing.
free.
But I remember being so scared. I'm throwing away money. I remember actually thinking, I'm throwing away $9,000.
Right.
Like I'm like throwing this in the trash.
But actually you're choosing yourself.
Yes. And so
You're worth $9,000.
you work more than that.
More than that.
And so as you have, I got a client who closed in a couple weeks, and he's become so toxic. We're at the finish line. But I would fire him tomorrow if I could.
Yeah.
I would just fire him tomorrow and say we're done.
Can I say one thing? Even though I'm not a rookie of the year, I think this is important because there's a lot of new people in here or new in their career. And I'll bet you every one of them learned this, is in the beginning, you take on all the stress of their issues
Yes.
until you get to the point where you're like, I'm just doing my job. That's your stuff, right? I'm gonna give you the best advice I can, but I'm never gonna lay in bed at night staring at the ceiling, stressed out like I'm about to throw up because of their issues. And we all do that.
Yeah.
Once you get to a point where you can say, that's theirs.
Yeah.
That's a
I'm
big
waiting on
deal.
that to come.
Well,
Yeah, when does that happen, Rob?
Well, it comes and it goes, cause that's the freeing thing for me, is to be able to like remove the emotions, cause it's a bold law, right? Like you have facts and emotions, right?
Yeah.
If your client's being super emotional, you offset it with facts.
Yep.
If they're too factual, you offset it with emotion. But don't you love this? Couldn't you see your whole family just gathered around this dining room table? Like, isn't this beautiful? Oh yeah, I can see that. Great. Okay. And then they're like, oh my God, everything's falling apart. But it's not falling apart. Let's go through the list, you know? And so finding that balance and then letting it go. Because
But
I'm
don't
not in
make you
control
sick.
of anything, right? Like, I'm not in control of the loan. My lender's got that, you know? I'm not in control of the closing. The closing attorney's got that.
Yep.
Hell, I'm not even in control of the transaction because my transaction coordinator's got that. So I'm literally just there, like, negotiating, making sure that like they don't get cold feet and like yeet themselves off a cliff, and you know that we just like maintain, you know, and then I get referrals.
My
Yeah.
last closing, on the way out the door, I blocked her number.
Yes, you did. I remember you telling me.
I've done that.
I mean,
I've done that.
Yep. I mean, I wasn't in the car yet,
I've done that.
100%.
and I did my job,
Got those.
got her what she wanted, and I wasn't even in the car, and I said, block.
Listen, I didn't do that, and then he gave me
So
2
proud of you.
referrals and asked me to come sell his house, and I was like, no, I don't want to though.
I said,
Refer it
I
out,
won't do it.
refer it out.
But it was a really
I
good
did just say no to a toxic person.
Yes. I think learning that is, yes.
And he wants to buy and sell, and that it was torture.
Yep.
Yeah.
When I helped him build new construction.
Refer it out and give someone a heads up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The time I spent taking crazy ladies' phone calls and not taking her calls, but at 10 o'clock at night getting these texts, I could have took half that energy and put it into someone who really wants to work with me. And what I have learned is this, I wanna work with people that really wanna act now. You know, and you've helped me with this, Angela. It's like, okay, Rhonda, well, are they serious? Well, gosh, I think they are. So now I'm like, if you're not serious, I'm gonna keep in touch, but I'm moving on to people that wanna sell now.
Right.
Buy now.
You can't care more than they do.
I think you brought up a good like thing that you're like something that you're doing that like I've had to adjust is like I don't take work calls after 7 p.m. Like I just unless we are in active negotiations.
Yeah.
Or they text me 911, I'm freaking out. Those are like the only times, like they know that like I have a life, I have a child, I have all this other stuff going on. I'm just like, no, there's nothing that I can do at 7 p.m. Like to do anything.
Yeah,
You know?
cause I think, I mean, I was sending
And other
an
agents,
offer
too.
to Libby last night after 10, and I'm like, I'm turning into a pumpkin, I forgot this, I'll get it to you tomorrow. Why? Oh.
Should I get sloppy after a certain?
No, just to what you were saying on balance, learning like whose emergency is it? Because we will set boundaries, we will be proactive about things, just like in this smoking situation. It's 40 days ago you talked to them about that smoking smell. Now the home's sitting, now it's becoming your emergency, you know? And so a lot of times we'll proactively try to do things and we're trying to avoid that, or if we actually have an emergency, a lot of times clients will drag their feet on that, but then when they have like the smallest of hiccup, then the world's on fire, you know? And so knowing how to properly set boundaries and just be proactive about that, that's something that you all just spoke towards, and like, it's something, a learning journey, and finding that balance for sure.
And like real emergencies like fire,
Yeah.
I can't help you,
Yeah.
call 911,
Yeah.
water, okay,
Yeah, everything's a
turn it
emergency,
off
but on the.
and call a plumber, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, like it's like,
I was just gonna
Yeah.
say, one of the things I recently learned that has really helped me is so a lot of my business is from my sphere, so they're people I know personally, and sometimes that's a good thing and sometimes not so much. And so I learned that when people are freaking out, that I do not respond for at least 30 minutes. Because A, it gives me time to like calm down and not respond to their crazy, but also half the time they respond and say, I'm sorry. Like I was freaking out, and it gives everybody a chance to just chill, and it also shows them I'm not gonna engage in this. And so that's been really helpful because I'm a people pleaser, and so I wanna fix everything, and so then I get in there, I'm like, okay, well, don't worry about it, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this, and then it just perpetuates,
naturally
so.
works itself out usually too.
Yeah, I just try to give it 30 minutes, and then that kind of has helped me a lot, so it's just, you know, we wanna be there everything, I think we feel like, you know, it's our obligation to solve everything, and to some degree, it's our obligation to solve things for them, but not the crazy. That's on them.
I think if you guys revisit the circus question, what you'll find is you're actually the ringleader
Ooh.
and you're managing the circus.
I like that.
There it is.
You're managing every act.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You guys are-
I like that.
There we go.
We're managing.
What's
So-
you?
Libby, I would love to know, since you have the youngest child, multiple of them. How are you balancing your life and your work, and you're a top producer, like, how are you doing this? What kind of boundaries do you have, or
I know,
tell us?
I struggle with boundaries, so you're not gonna write tons of pages of notes on my boundaries, that's the sad thing. But really, I've done this as a single mom, and it makes an incredible difference having a supportive partner. Somebody who's not upset with me when I have to take an evening appointment or run out to the showing, and also my kids do come along for a lot of it, you know, like, okay, let me take the little two, you stay with the big, and I'm, you know, so a lot of it is kind of just flexing with a supportive partner makes an incredible difference. I get up early, I'm not a night owl, so my brain kind of doesn't really work that well after 10. I can do a couple things, but it's not my focus time. So I've always woken up in the 5s, a couple hours before the kids are up, and knock out the stuff I can't do during the day. And now that I have an admin too, like, I do have leverage as well, that also is a huge piece for me. I have a showing assistant who helps me show houses, and I have a full-time admin who helps manage my crazy, and I couldn't do without kind of all of those pieces. And I also try to stay in my lane too. Like, I don't get involved in the weeds, I don't know every single detail, because I got people for that. I'm here for the big stuff, I'm here for the negotiating, I'm here to support you, make sure you know where you're at in the process and what's next and what's coming, but I'm not, you know, I don't wanna stress out about things I don't want to stress out about.
That's good. What about the rest of you?
I think I'm the second youngest child. It's been a lot easier since my daughter started kindergarten. It's like we have after school, it's like budget friendly. But it's like I'm going through a divorce right now. And so we're splitting time 50-50. So a lot of my free time is now like, okay, I can do, all right, I don't have her this weekend, let me schedule some open houses, let me make sure I can show clients, let me leverage my mom's help, you know, like when I do have her. And a lot of it, and that's why like I set the 7 o'clock like boundary, because it's like bedtime's at 7. You know, it's like I'm not gonna interrupt bedtime for a client that may or may not give a shit, you know, sorry. Sorry, Jesus. Yeah, it's Charlotte's routine, like she's the boss, you know. And so I really go hard like when I don't have her, because like when you don't have a loving and supportive partner, you have to be that person for yourself, you know? And but for me though, it's been finding balance between fun me and work me and mom me and dating me, you know, and like getting leads on Bumble, which is weird. You know, and so it's like, but it's like fine, listen, you gotta hustle where you can hustle. But you know, but it's been interesting though, like trying to find like the balance between all of it, because like she's only little for so long. You know, she's gonna be a rising first grader. The school year's over.
I know.
You know, and it's, time is so fleeting, you know, and I have been so fortunate that, you know, I'm in a career where I can make as much money as I want. And like I had jury duty yesterday, and I ended up getting out of it, but I didn't change my voicemail. I set my voicemail in the morning and said, hello, this is, you know, it's Amanda. It's, you know, Monday, May 6th. I am currently in jury duty. I will be returning phone calls at lunchtime as well as after hours. Please text me if this is urgent, blah, 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 whatever. And everyone left me a voicemail, texted me, and I was like, oh my gosh, my day was so peaceful. I'm like, I'm gonna change my voicemail forever to be like, I will be returning calls between 11 and 12 and 2 and 4, you know, because it's like, then I have set times too, because I need routine. You know, that's why it's like I got an ADHD kid, and like her schedule is like the law, and then mine's a free for all. You know, so.
Anyone else have some boundary or balance tips for us?
Can I say something? When I first joined the office, I attended a panel where Libby was sitting, and Libby said something. She had kids different ages, they were little.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, you have to make this schedule work for you and your family. So put your family in first, right? It's got family business, and then do your schedule around it. starting next year, all my kids will be in school system. So, but I did break up my day. I had to make it work for me. I drop off my kids to that 3-4 hour school in the morning. This was my lead gen. Then I had to pick them up, take care of them, make dinner, you know, and then wait for my husband. My husband came home at 5:30. This was time for me to work, and I worked for 5:30, and I sat here in the office sometimes until 11 p.m. until I was done.
Yeah.
But I made it work for me, and it wasn't every day. I'm not crazy like that, but
You do what you gotta do.
but I had to do what I had to do. You know, and the same like with days off. We deserve days off.
Yeah.
If you can't, and then my coach said, if you can't take a whole day, take a half a day. Do something for yourself. I don't know, wear pajamas for in your house and sit on the sofa and drink coffee. That's what you're so make it work for you, but put in your schedule what's important for you. And the same goes for what? Vacations, right?
I mean, you're never gonna take a
Vacations
vacation
first.
if you wait,
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
gotta plan
And pay
those
for it.
with
That
the
is a
year,
fact.
you know?
And pay for it.
Cause there you go.
That's a great.
And like, and even though I cut my calls off at 7, I keep working. I just schedule emails to go out the next morning so they don't know that I'm working at 11 p.m. You know, that like, they don't know, I mean, because my brain's a little mushy at that point anyway. But it's like I keep working once she goes to bed, however, it's much more passive, you know? Sorry. You know what I'm saying?
So we have a shared calendar.
Oh,
Um,
that's good.
So if, you know, if things outside the normal 9 to 5, if it's something I have to do on the weekends or I do at night, she can know what it is, we help manage. Our 3 kids, only one can drive, so it's getting kids to theater, getting kids to band, getting kids to this and that, so it's trying to, and I'm also a theater dad, I'm also a band dad, so I'm trying to catch up with the things I missed earlier in life, my other career.
Aw, that's awesome.
So I prioritize that, so on my calendar is all those important things, and if it's a shared calendar, she knows when I can or can't either pick the kids up, and if it's my job, then you can't argue with that. It cuts a lot of the arguments out, cause it's like, okay, well, Chris has to do that for work, well, I can't get mad about that, he's making money right now.
Right,
If it's Chris goofing off, then it's a different conversation,
right.
but it gets rid of a lot of the stress, cause you're like, okay, you can see what each other are doing to help the family together.
And a practical tip of something I do every day, if somebody, you know, has an emergency, calls me, texts me, and I'm doing something else, I always respond right away, I'll text them right away, hey, I'm working on something right now, but expect a call from me at this time, and then I screenshot it, and then whenever I have a spare moment, or at a red light, whatever, I'm looking through my screenshots of like, okay, what have I forgotten to do, what do I need to follow up with, and like do those things, you know, when I do.
I have to set an alarm for that.
Yeah,
I'll be
alarms
like,
work too.
Hey Siri, set an alarm for 4 p.m. to call Libby.
What do you do more often?
Yeah.
Karen, what did I say?
It just reminded me of something that worked so well for a few years, and you know, people migrate to different brokers, but there was a while where Al Maxwell, Don Bars, Eric Decker,
Yeah,
that I was
that's
just
a
gonna
fact,
talk
yeah.
about, and Eric and I still do this, and a guy named Dean Holm for a while, we decided, because life, you know, when you are an independent agent, which is all I wanted, I didn't wanna build a team, I didn't wanna manage people, so you can't do it all, so we created a page, and we kinda had a pact where we're a team, so in our listing and buyer presentations, we then had a page, here's the team, and we backed each other up.
That's awesome.
Eric and I, in the craziness of the pandemic,
Yeah.
I think with both of us on the road at one point, got 3 buyers under contract within, you know, one of us had to show within 3 hours of listing, the other might put in the contract. So the hardest thing about being a solo agent is it's all on you and you can't do it all. And when these homes list, you've got to get them there. So that was so helpful, and I kind of do it a little bit now with some of my other peeps,
Yes, but finding people.
it's reminding me to put it in a, then they don't feel like you're just passing them off.
And then you can go on vacation and be like,
My team's got, like, they are
they're
your
good,
team.
they're good,
They
doesn't
don't
have to constantly,
Right.
we're good, they're covered, I told them beforehand who to reach out to, and we're good.
These guys, we had each other's passwords, they could go into my dot loop, you know, so having somebody that you trust that much
Yeah.
and we would just figure out the money, somebody did X, Y, Z, I'm like, how's 20% on this, or how's 50?
That's amazing. I love that.
They worked great. Eric, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
He's
I love it.
amazing,
Aw.
he is so amazing, yeah.
Well, I'd love to end on a really positive note. What's your favorite thing about being a realtor? And then we'll let them ask if we have special questions. And then, yes, the audience, so, favorite? What's your favorite part of being a realtor? Freedom, okay.
Now I say that, but I have a small beach place I've been to since last August, so I gotta work on that.
Yes.
The money.
Okay.
Being a dad again,
Aww.
and the second answer would be first time home buyers. I love a first time home buyer giving them the keys and letting them start their dream. That to me is one of the greatest.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'd rather sell, ideally I wouldn't want to sell a bunch of, $400,000, $300,000 houses, millions would be more fun. But handing someone the first set of keys is one of the greatest things I'll ever have in my entire life.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm in it for the people. It's like when you're moving, it's such a stressful time. How can I make it easier on you? The connection, like that is always gonna be the thing for me that keeps me in this industry.
I love people, I think it's the only thing that pulls me through. And I'm like the anti-system person, cause I had a grinding sales career and the people in New York would shove these goals down our throats and make us change our database system management every single year to save money. So I got to where I purposely chose to be my own boss, which is great, even though she's a little witch sometimes. And the other thing is, I'm kind of the proof that you can also not necessarily follow those systems, although I wish I had. I think I'd have been much more successful, but I didn't come to, I just came to make money for the security of my family, and it's exceeded.
I'm the same as you.
So I chose to let the wind carry me a little bit, and I'm doing it more and more. It might carry me right out the door next year. I really like. But if you work really hard and provide excellence on every single transaction, like the referrals come and the business comes. I'm still shocked every year. I'm like, no, I am not at top. Like I don't even know how that happens. I'm not kidding.
It's incredible.
I do it for the relationships. I remember a $200,000 lead and that came from a referral, and at the end of it, she was from Kenya. She said, I didn't wear shoes going to school and now I'm buying a home. And she said, Adrian, you're my sister now. It did take us 13 months to get it. She was like throwing another bit, but it was like so sweet, and this wasn't nearby, it was like Lawrenceville. Actually, Bottom Blinder finally. So, but yeah, that's so rewarding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now I feel kind of just changed my answer because I was a little too direct.
Yeah.
Yeah. But here's the thing though, money, for me, money equals freedom, right? Like money is freedom to me, it's why I get divorced, it's why, whatever. But anyway.
No, I
That's what makes it worth it, we're not, this isn't charity.
Yeah.
I'm not
free. But I will say though, I do love, I will say, like, I am so grateful that I joined this office, that I have the friendships that I have. Like looking around, like I'm in a mastermind group that I meet with once a month, and like we just are raw and we are real, and like I have my people. It's like I talk to Libby every day, I talk to Chris, I see and talk to Chris at least once or twice a week. I see Rhonda a couple times a week. Brenda's helped me a whole lot and I love her so much, and it's like we really do have like an office and a culture that like no one else has.
100%.
Like at all.
Even within Rawls Group,
Yeah,
even within
even within the Rawls
even
Group.
within KW,
Yeah.
we're much different than every other office.
I agree. I got templates when I first started. Patty Jackson gave me her feature card
Yeah.
template. Al Maxwell gave me this template for how he shows value. And I then turn around and do that for anyone. I will give them my listing presentation.
Yeah, I'll
Like,
answer any question ever.
it doesn't happen in other offices.
It doesn't.
Angela gave us the buyer presentation. I mean, it's 12 pages long. And I was struggling trying to create my own.
Yeah.
And then I came to a class one day and she just gave it to us.
I love
And it's
it.
still the only thing for buyers in my laptop.
Yeah.
But it's amazing that, wow, you were so gracious to give that to us. It's kind of neat that.
We don't compete here.
No.
I love that.
Competition happens at the bottom, like we collaborate here,
I love that.
like
I love
100%.
that. Isn't this beautiful?
Yeah, it's all about team. Seriously,
Yeah.
we all help each other at some point.
I mean, in my first year, I said this is like therapy, because my life was broken at home, and I come in, but y'all helped and just, we rebuilt our lives, and I'm grateful to be here. What kind of questions do y'all have? I know we're like over, sorry. Yes?
I just wanted to say that this was completely refreshing, for somebody who's been in the business a super long time. It's great to remember
I don't wanna call it the struggle, but the process or the journey.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
I just want to say thank you. I'm from Michigan, and a saying at University of Michigan is those who stay will be champions. I went to Michigan State, so it very much hurts me to say that. Kyle knows, it very much hurts me to say that. But for us to have 6 consecutive years of Rookie of the Year of recipients to still be a part of this office, that doesn't happen everywhere. A lot of times people will find success and look for, where can I grow here? What can I do different here? For you all to have stayed and still be top producers, it's amazing. So I just want to say thank you.
So guys, in 2009, I was president of the Atlanta Board of Realtors, which is arguably one of the oldest, most prestigious boards in the country. And that year also I was named Realtor of the Year. So that's two pretty good things, isn't it? Pretty cool. They got pretty good narrative. And I get a phone call from the head of my company, says, can you come by and see us? I said, sure, come by and see you. I walked in, he says, we're replacing you. I said, what? We're replacing you. We're taking you out of the office, bringing you in the corporate office. They cut my salary by 2/3. What is this all about? How can you replace me? I was president of the board and also Realtor of the Year. How can you do that? But what I didn't realize was that, number one, I was being prepared to leave there because I would have left in Amazon to come to Keller Williams. So God used that in an incredible way. But what the real success story was, though, I saw the CEO of that company. He's the one that fired me. About 5 years later, and this office was rocking. He says, Jim, I got to tell you what. He says, hey, we made a mistake. We should have never let you get away. The guy says, so you guys, a lot of the time when you have obstacles in your careers, you're looking and thinking, okay, what's the message here? What should I be learning from this? Rather than thinking, poor me. So guys, I will tell you, when you get an obstacle like y'all talked about, you know what I mean? Look at it and say, okay, what's the lesson for me? Because often there's a great lesson. And I think we've done pretty well here, haven't we? Can we give Adrian and this panel an one more thing for us.
Hey guys, I forgot to do this when I was up here. So, y'all know my daughter has a floral business. By the way, there's a workshop Wednesday night at Reformation in Canton. It'd be great if you guys come to some flower. She can teach you how to make flowers. So I brought some this morning to give away, and I want to give them to Annabelle. This is Ashley's daughter. Y'all know Ashley well. Everybody say hey. There you go. All right, that's all I got.
Guys, anything else that guys, please don't forget Red Day. It's so important. And did we pass around that assumption you can donate money? Has anybody got something? Please give us a little bit of money. Great, guys. Thank you. We're just.
Okay. You wanna take it or do you wanna be in it?
Oh, and we're not doing anything on Friday, Saturday.